we are here with Dr. Elvis,
Hi,
and I keep your last name, I keep mixing it up all the time.
Wickham.
Wickham.
Yes, please.
Elvis Wickham, and we're here at your office, and we made a call. We
Yes.
jumped in because we saw your speech and was very, very moved by your speech, and wondered how did you get into all of this?
You asked me a week ago if I would have been in this position. I would have said unlikely. I'm really new to the party.
Mhm.
Really new. I've always been concerned, certainly at least since 1991. I remember the year well. I've always been concerned about the political landscape in my country and what's happening, but never wanted to get involved. Really, because from my vantage point, politics is quite nasty. I did not want to get involved, but I was for a few months now involved with helping out the party in whatever little way that I could. Made some appearances on BLP TV, and a few days ago, the thought of me being one of the speakers was proffered, and as I can speak, I have done public speaking, certainly at church on many occasions, going back to my school days as well, when I would have been head boy at school. So, being in front of a crowd, it's not a big deal for me.
When you said you were head boy at your school, where
Yes.
did you go to school?
Queen's College.
You went to school at Queen's
Yes,
College,
please.
and so you were head boy, so you had to do speaking
On many occasions.
on many occasions. So did they know that when they asked you to speak?
Probably they must have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Pretty sure they did. But this is not something that I talk about a lot or that I go around
So
promoting.
you were just there canvassing.
Yeah. I mean, I really like engaging with persons. That's my job. I'm a family physician, so interacting with people on a daily basis, persons from every strata of society, educational background, financial background. So I'm comfortable interacting with persons from any level of society. So I signed up to be involved in canvassing. I wanted to be involved in canvassing, and that's how things started out.
And that's how it started out.
Yes.
And then you, so when they asked you to speak, is it something that you kind of felt in your heart was going to happen?
I've always known in my spirit that at some point I would be speaking nationally. And in fact, because I've always had deep concern about what's going on in Barbados,
yes.
And this is regardless of whichever party held the reins of government. I've always had deep concerns. I believe in certain principles that are non-negotiable, whether BLP or DLP, and I saw a lot of things that I did not like. And on a number of occasions in the past, I have spoken from two different pulpits, that one church and I'm at a different assembly, about how politics is practiced in Barbados. On both of those occasions, I was not involved in any party. I did not want to be involved, but I wanted to see things being better, different, because I felt that it's to the benefit of Barbados if we improve how we do business in this country.
Yes, I see what you're saying. And so when and did you have a lot of time to prepare?
Not a lot of time between when I was asked to speak and when I agreed and the actual day. So I did not have a lot of time. It was literally just a matter of hours. But for me, the information, it's out there.
Yes, and you've always had it inside
I always
of you.
had it inside of me. I didn't have to make up stories.
Right.
I spoke stuff that is factually known and non-libelous. So, I didn't have to go digging for a lot of information. Like I said, I paid close attention to what's happening in my country. The information was there. It was just a matter of ordering the information so that you have flow to your speech, which I know from public speaking, you don't want to be all over the place. If persons are going to follow you, you have to connect the dots properly. But the information was already there.
And as you mounted that platform, what was the main thing? What was that you wanted to leave with the audience? What is that main point you said, regardless of what happens tonight, this is what I want to say?
All is not well, but it could be better. And we don't have to be afraid. I know they're saying that we are promoting a campaign of fear. We are speaking people's realities. So if it suits their purposes to say that we're highlighting fear, we are speaking persons' realities, but also to let persons know that it could be different, it could be better. I was very mindful that we're going into a constituency which for almost 35 years has strongly voted for the BLP. So I was under no illusion that there's great love for non-BLP candidates in that constituency. So being mindful of that. So you wanted to let persons know that look, all is not well. The signs are clear. It is clear all is not well in Barbados. The facade, the pretense, it can only go so far. But our daily realities, all is not well. But we can make a change. We can make a change. It's not going to happen overnight. We can absolutely make a change, starting with this constituency.
Yes, and you said well, can I just tell you that that speech has been so stirring. I'm hearing from young people who are calling me and saying, Marcy, can you get him on the show? There's a young man, especially from UE Theory. This one is for you. And he's been at me, Marcy, we've got to bring him on. Bring him on, please. So people are being inspired by your speech. What do you say to those who are like yourself, we're just going along your daily life and you're not a politician, I don't want to get involved in politics. What do you say to these people?
The price we pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by men who do not have our best interests at heart as their first goal. Meaning, clearly someone is going to govern the country. We have persons who will give token gestures to the population, to us, because you need to. We officially are still supposed to be a democracy. But the interests of the persons, the people, the populace, the masses, so to speak, doesn't appear to be the primary concern. We have decisions being made where we are an afterthought. We're secondary. So the price that we pay for sitting on the sidelines, as I had for basically my whole life, not wanting to get too involved, was that in not voting and not participating, we are more likely to end up with a scenario where the person selected don't have our best interests at heart as the first and foremost goal. So I would certainly encourage persons to get involved. At a minimum, pay close attention to what is said. One of the things that I spoke to on Sunday night was pay close attention also to what is not said.
Yes.
By definition, a lie is the intent to deceive. The intent to deceive. So persons can use words, craft them in such a way that you could argue they didn't lie. Mm-hmm. But they know by the way they frame their statements, a perception is being given that is quite different from the reality. So I also encourage persons on Sunday night to pay very close attention to what is said and what is not being said. So at a minimum, I certainly do not expect everyone to get involved to the extent that I'm now involved. Most persons certainly will not. But at a minimum, we need to pay attention to what's happening to our country. Listen to news. And on that point, I would say we need more than just the only TV station. We need more than just the main radio station. And definitely, I would recommend that you don't take as your main news source the social media influencers that are out there. It was revealed in Parliament, in a sense. I remember during the budget speech, Honorable Ralph Thorne made reference to an article that I had appeared in the paper last year, based on parliamentary rules and so on. When Dr. Duguid rose on point of order, he wasn't able to expound on it, but he did talk about it, last night. But I actually went back and found the article where a government minister confessed that they were paying social media influencers. Mm. So I will certainly advise persons, even as much as I talk about discover, find out, listen, pay attention to what's happening in your country. Be very careful where you get your news from.
Correct.
Social media influencers as the primary news source.
Because if you're paid,
bought and paid for,
you
have to push the
somebody.
Yeah, so that what we have is a carefully crafted image from mainstream media, from central bank, from social media influencers, suggesting that all is well. But yet persons' daily reality, persons' felt reality, tell an extremely different story.
So is that when you went canvassing, and as you engaged with the constituents, did you find that theme coming through, that all isn't well with
all
them?
Isn't well? We have in that constituency, probably as stark as any other constituency in Barbados, we have the tale of two Barbadoses. Literally. On the one hand, newly constructed hotel. As the team visited a resident, literally right next to her residence. The first thing that caught my attention was the stench. The stench is horrible. Resident there for 30 plus years, hotel newly constructed, less than 3 years, allowed to place its garbage collection point right next to her front door, 3 feet separating. I was there for minutes and the stench was horrible, putrid. I couldn't handle it. I could not handle it. The residents have to deal with that every day. Reach out to government, various officials. No relief. No relief. You literally see in St. James North the tale of two Barbaduses. Multiple residents told us also of a matter involving another location, another development, where they reached out to their representative. The representative informed them that he couldn't do anything for them in this matter. He couldn't represent them because he has a financial stake in the matter with the developer. The tale of two Barbaduses, struggles that people are going through daily. Felicia last night, and I would absolutely recommend that everyone listens to her speech last night. It was more of a report card, as she called it, and she detailed a number of encounters that she would have had over the course of the past few weeks in the constituency. And we get a very different story on the ground than the one that they would love to be crafted nationally, than the one that they would want being told this facade that all is well. Mind you, they did recently admit that, okay, yeah, you need some roads, you need some playing fields, we have to deal with the flooding and trench, but they want to pretend that all is well, but all is not well.
That's what you got from it. And so, Felicia Djon, it is, we saw in the newspaper this morning, I woke up to it, where you have some political scientists, and they're saying that she does not resonate with the constituents. You've been in the constituency. Do you see that? Do you feel that? Is that what you observe?
Felicia Djon was raised in the constituency. She's from that location. This is where she settled when she came to Barbados. I've absolutely seen her resonating with the residents of St. James North. They would have to tell you why they take the positions that they take, the various experts. They have their reasons. I will leave that for them. They have their reasons. But I definitely see her resonating with the constituents. What we do know in Barbadian politics, persons quite often tend to vote party. That's been how we've been taught growing up. In this house, we vote DLP. In this house, we vote BLP, which I think is most unfortunate. In my house, our house now, wife, myself, 2 children, we talk issues. We think very critically, analytically. That is how I've been raised. In fact, I often tell them almost every day, I'm not raising you to anybody's fools. I'm raising you to think, reason. We look at issues. I'm not one for blind loyalty. It doesn't matter what they do, they will get our vote. But what we have is, and this is definitely not just St. James North, right across Barbados, we have been taught you vote this side or you vote that side, you vote issues. And the stark reality, the clear reality is that for the past 7 years, a lot has changed and that all is not well. All is not well. The Barbados that we felt safer in is not the Barbados that we have today. Our government looks at us as an afterthought with the occasional gesture as opposed to the first priority. And I spoke of this on, I think this was Sunday night, Throne speech, September 2020. The world has spoken. And if Barbados is to be counted among the progressive nations of the world, we have to. And we have to do various things. But since when does the world get to decide what's happening in Barbados? So if the world is streaming over a cliff, chasing, running, about to drop off the edge of the cliff, Barbados is the goal of them. We can't think and reason for ourselves anymore. Whatever happened to friends of all, satellites of none? Right now, we're a satellite of everyone. Just give us some money and we'll do your bidding. And that's not the Barbados that I want for my children to grow up in. We're outside influences that do not have our best interest. We are supposed to decide what's in our best interest. Outside sources and their monies are deciding what's best for Barbados. Wow. And we have a leadership and we have a government that is willingly facilitating it.
Yeah. So, I know you're going to be speaking tonight, so I don't want to keep you too long, but I want to ask you, what's your final word to the constituents of St. James North who might be watching the show tonight?
You can do different from what you've done before. I know many, clearly, the evidence is there, would have voted for Barbados Labour Party, and they would have reasons why that's been the case. But it is okay. It is okay. You may have been a lifelong BLP voter, but you do not have to vote for the Barbados Labour Party all the time just because. Look at what is happening in our country. The facts are there. It is undeniable. And I was certainly urgent to vote for Felicia Djon. We have someone who by nature, by her life's experience, has been representing. And that is why it's been easy for me to speak on a platform in support of her, because I am someone who takes my words very seriously. I believe in reputation. I'm answerable to God for every word that I speak. I genuinely believe that. And with a clear conscience, I can say representation is what she has done. We have someone on the other side, main candidate, that now has to pretend to be a representative. She has been a voice for the voiceless. And in Parliament and outside of Parliament, she will represent the constituents of St. James North. So I would say to them that it is okay. They do not have to vote Barbados Labour Party just because that is what they have always done. I will also say to family, friends of persons in St. James North, give them a call. We see what is happening in our country. It is not well. We need a stronger opposition. And if you think about it, a stronger opposition actually helps to strengthen government, because they have to be more accountable. It helps to strengthen government by way of acting more in the best interest of the country and not a selected few backers and elitist interests. And that is what we need ultimately. We want, or at least we should want, what is best for Barbados, not what is best for a small minority. So St. James North residents, but as well as those who are listening, wherever they're from, call persons that, encourage them to get out to vote. We can make a difference. One vote here, one vote there. It adds up. It adds up. It absolutely adds up. So, don't think that your vote is inconsequential. It won't make a difference. So I'm going to stay home. The bees are going to win anyhow. No. You have 12 hours. Get up and vote. Your employers, they have to let you vote. Public transportation could be terrible. So if you decide to go to work first, make sure you leave with enough time to get back there and cast your vote. We absolutely have to begin to bring the change that Barbados needs. We can only live the illusion for so long. They can pretend all they want that we are stoking fear, but the reality on the ground is that life is a struggle for many. And $300 as a one-off payment is not going to cut it. It is not going to cut it. $300, by the way, started payments May 14th, when land tax bills came out May 12th. So before they gave you your $300, they had already worked out how they were going to get it back from you. Just think about that, St. James North. They gave you your money, having already worked out how they were going to get it back from you. They're really good at optics. I mean, they employ a massive PR machinery. So they know how to do spin. They know how to do distraction. That's why all the partying and fecking, because, they figure that's a distraction. But I encourage persons to pay close attention to what's happening in our country. Pay close attention and let us start that change. Yes, St. James North, you'll by-election tomorrow, but this goes way beyond the by-election tomorrow. This is bigger. This is about Barbados. This is about Barbados. And so certainly beyond the by-election tomorrow, the party that I am now a part of and an assistant.
Wow, so you're going to keep assisting the party, the Democratic Labour Party?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Wow.
And I can say that because the messaging that I have seen on the inside, the various discussions that obviously I'm not going to get into the specifics of, we are very intent on keeping it clean. Literally honest voices for the people. In fact, I would have made my position clear. If I'm going to assist in any way, my loyalty is first and foremost to my God. That was the term and the condition under which I decided to assist. If I see things going down a particular road that would cause me to violate that by towing the party line, that's it. It is appointed unto man wants to die, and after that judgment. What is a man profited to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? And I said it last night on the platform in Cemetery Lane when I was introducing the opposition leader. I do not worship men. I have no interest in doing that. So a politician or pastor, I have no interest in worshiping. I am answerable to God. But as long as we are following principle, then I can support that.
Yes.
Honest voices for the people. We look to speak the truth, and that is a message that I can continue to support.
And you feel comfortable that this Democratic Labour Party is on the right track. It is ready for government. You believe that this is the way to go for you?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
I can't speak to the Democratic Labour Party that existed before. That's not the party that I was involved in. But the Democratic Labour Party of today, yes, I am comfortable assisting based on all that I have seen since I started following, paying close attention, and have started assisting. It's a message and an approach that I am comfortable supporting because I do not have to lie. Persons keep asking, how can you speak so comfortably? You're not a political speaker. And my response is the same to everyone. I don't have to lie. I'm not about smoke and mirrors. Speak the truth, and the truth will make you free.
Wow, well, you know, this has been very, very, very eye-opening discussion, and I know it's a bit first to, you know, a longer discussion because we want to know a bit more about your background, etc.
That's a long.
I know. I'll give them a little hint tonight, but we will have a discussion about that. And all the best tonight in your speech to the country. We'll be listening. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. All right, have a good evening.
That maths nor English. That maths nor English. Pretending to be good. Pretending to be good. I just pretending to care about people. 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 Pretending. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. I'm pretending to be good. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people.
I'm not interested in prosecuting nobody. I tell the AG already, I want money.
Wait, say what?
Money.
Whoa!
Money.
Yo!
I want money.
Wait, she really said that for you?
Money. I'm not interested in prosecuting nobody. I want money.
Whoa!
Money.
Whoa!
Money.
Yo!
Money.
You hear that?
Money.
She want money, yeah?
I want money. I want money.
You hear that? She want money, yeah?
I'm not interested in prosecuting nobody. I tell the AG already, I want money. I want money.
Boy, she only care about the money. Bye, girl. Bye.